Hey dude, so I wanted to show you the circuits for this Jumbotron clone Berrytron room that I made. First, let's play around of the game so you know what to keep an eye out for on the circuits. And if later on you know how to improve the circuits, for sure, let me know. All right, so I hit the button, it changes the lighting, it animates the walls. I get a gun, you see the health up there. And then if I shoot, you see all the faces animate and go. You can see the health going down. At the moment, everything works fine. It keeps track of health for players and the boss completely fine. There's a little bit of CPU and net issues, but everything still works fine. There we go. All right, so the confetti shoots, the thing blows up, all those explosions happen, and then it'll teleport us to the end screen. All right, let's go back in and I'll show you the circuit. So the first thing that we do is to change the sky dome. I have it set to the outer space thing, and then it'll switch it to like the red colored hue that we had. All right, and then after that we have an animation. So when you start it, all of these walls kind of are animated to go away. So that's what this animation controller is here. And then we have a 1 second delay. After that 1 second delay, we have to stop the animation. When I was doing it, I would animate the walls, and then after the animation got done, maybe like 20 seconds after it was done, they would just pop right back into place. So I don't know, the only way I could figure out how to stop that is to, even though it's supposed to stop at the end, is to put in a thing here to stop the animation. And then we have, after that, we're gonna set the text to the total life of the Berrytron up there. We'll get to where that life is defined here in a second. So after this delay, then we do turret follow. That tells the turret to start following the closest player. We went over that in another video. I'll show it again here. After that, we have defined health for every individual person. This is a weird thing because I have it all running on the room authority system, but because Rec Room doesn't have synced list, this is kind of an effort to make everybody have a synced list. So that goes out to everybody. This one starts the turret, that's only on the room authority system. That kind of tells the turret to start firing at people. And then we have sound effects, we have the audio, which you heard, and that's it for exactly starting it. Now I want to show this health define thing. It's a little bit complicated, a little bit of a mess over here. So it comes over here, and we're gonna make this list of integers. Each one is 250. 250 is each screen on Berrytron. Each one has 250 health, and then that's 1,000 total. So imagine, if you will, we go through here with the delay. We have 1 second delay. During that 1 second of delay, all of this is happening, including this right here where we define the health. So by that 1 second, this is already, defined as 4 items, each of 250, and then it comes down here and it gets that and it sets the text to the sum of that list, which would be 1,000. All right, so then after that, for everybody, remember this is happening on everybody's system. If the health of Berrytron is over 0, which it should be because it was just defined as 1,000, and it's gonna equip a gun. That gun is gonna come from a list of every single laser pistol that's in the room. And what we're doing is we're gonna get the player room index. Every player will have like a number, 1, 2, or 3, or whatever, which is like their player number. I think it can switch around, I'm not 100% sure. But whatever number that player is, take that number from the list of all the guns and assign that gun to them and give it to them. And then also we have set HUD element that gives you a little health up on the screen. I tried to make it so that when a player joins, like in the middle of a game, it will give him a gun and everything. This goes off for everybody once a player joins. So let's say we're in the middle of a game, 3 people are here, a 4th person joins. On the system of the player who just joined, we want to go through and basically give them a weapon. It doesn't work perfectly all the time, I'll admit. So if you have any suggestions, let me know. Everybody else's system will continue on the is not local. And then we'll go down to if local player is room authority. So for the room authority specifically, because the room authority is the one who kind of controls the master list of like all the health of all the screens and everything, what I'm trying to do here is tell the room authority player to send an event to the new player that just joined, and that event is going to have all of the health so that everybody's list of the health of the boss is all up to date. Up here, we have circuits for when somebody gets revived. When they get hit 3 times, they'll die, but then I have it to where people can, like, you know, grab onto them and revive them after a little bit. So once they get revived, this is kind of the thing that says, okay, you know, turn off that player interaction for all the other players, and then for the player that just got revived, remove the dead roll. Then they need to have their health back on the screen, and then they also need to get their gun back. So in the other video, I showed you kind of how to detect when one of the screens was hit. We have 4 pistols only in the room. And then if you edit one of them, then we have this event receiver for projectile hit rec room object. And then if the player is room authority, remember, I'm trying to run everything through room authority system. I'm not sure if that's the best way to do it. Get collision data, and then we send that out to the room authority. The screen that was actually hit that comes from collision data, and the damage, we'll use that later. And there's a copy of these couple of circuits in every single one of these object boards for the guns. All right, so now we're gonna come over here and do the turret following stuff. Again, we're running it only on the room authority system. That bool from over there, the turret follow bool, that like tells the turret, hey, start following people. Then have it start following people. We're just setting the rotation of the turret to point basically at the closest person. Then if you remember earlier, we had start turrets. Once we start the turret, it'll do 4 seconds of delay, and then after 4 seconds, it'll fire off some projectiles at its target 4 times. So after we shoot, if the health of the whole thing is still greater than 0, then we want to do start turn again, which comes over here, starts the entire shooting process over again. On the other side, there is a stop turret event, right? And you send that out. And so when you stop the turret, we're going to come here, do the sequence, and it's basically just going to cancel any of these delays going on right now. So it won't fire anymore, essentially. We have here the player definition board. This is going to detect when somebody gets shot, and also the reviving. We have projectile hit player. Remember, this is if the projectile from up there hits the player. Then we want to get that player, you know, make it only run on that player system. Remember, it'll run on everybody's system, so you have to limit it to whoever's system it's going to be, which will be the actual person who got hit. And then we want to send out the event to update their health over, where's it at? It's over somewhere. Oh, it's right here. We also have this one for, this only goes off for the person who actually completed the task of reviving. And then it sends that event out way over there that we went to earlier. Let's say somebody's dead and you revive them. Once you get done, you know, once the whole circle is filled, then we send out that disable revive thing. All right, so you were hit. Once you were hit with the bullet, we want to update your health. So that's what we're going to look at next. We've got, again, this is only being sent out to the system of the person who was hit, right? So we're going to check what the element value is. If I go in here and configure, I have the element value set to 3, so it's just set automatically to 3. Subtract 1, changed it to from 3 to whatever the new number is, which would be 2. Then we want to check if that value is less than 0. Then we want to turn off their HUD so they no longer have any life. We also want to give them the dead roll, which is down there. That essentially they can't grab any weapons and they can't move. And then we want to enable the revive. So let's go down here. This is that player interaction stuff. So we send this out to everybody and we record the player that, again, remember, it was local. It was the player who got hit. It was running on their system. So you come down here. If the player is local, then do nothing. Because remember, they're the one that got hit. But for everybody else, they need to be able to interact with this player now. And then we have, so when you hover over it, it says revive. You have to hold it for 5 seconds. After that, we have subtitles pop up so that everybody else is alerted, hey, such and such needs to be revived. We also have a system here, if they're the last player alive. So we come here and we say, how many people have the role dead and how many people are in the room. If the amount of people who have the role dead and the amount of people who are in the room is equal, that means everybody's dead. And if everybody's dead, stop the turret, send everybody to the dead screen room, essentially. If you're getting anything from this video, make sure to throw me a like or subscribe. You know, this is all free. So here we have screen hit. This is the event that is coming from inside the gun board, right? So if a screen is hit, we send it to room authority. We recorded which screen was hit and we recorded the damage. They all have the tag screen on them. They also each have a number, 0, 1, 2, and 3. So I've kind of used this execution integer switch opposite of the way you're supposed to use it. Whenever there's nothing in here, this outputs as a -1, so that means it's there. But if it fails, then it goes through. So if it fails, that means that there is some sort of match. If it's not a match, it'll be -1. If it is a match, it'll go through fail. Remember, this is all running on room authority system, so they should have an accurate number here for the health of the screen. So we want to get the index of whatever screen it is, and then we want to output the value from this list that has the exact same index that one does. Okay, now in here we have a custom circuit board. If the number coming out of here is 0, it won't do anything. If it isn't 0, it'll subtract whatever the damage is from the gun. That was one of the big things when I was going through this, that was like, how can I reduce all of these circuits into one thing? And this is the way that I did it. After that, what we need to do is have it take damage, and then if it takes damage, replace the number that's in here with whatever the new number is going to be. And that's what that chip does. It just takes, you know, let's say that the first screen was hit, and then we go in and we get its health, which would be the item number 1 of this list, which would be 250, and then we subtract from it, and then we replace the 250 on here with whatever the new number is, which this is where we get a little messed up. Update for all on change. So that event, the whole point of that event is, again, to keep everybody's list synced. So what it does is it goes through and it takes the new list from our room authority and it sends it out to everybody who's not the room. It sends it to all, and then if you're not the room authority, then your list gets updated. Then we're going to check the health of the screens and the overall thing to see if they should disappear, if they should explode, stuff like that. Now, in the same way that these are matched up index-wise, we've also got the animations that make them like vibrate when they get hit. We have those synced up, I guess, index-wise as well. So this number isn't actually health, it's actually the index of whatever the screen was or the health was or whatever. Each screen has a number on it. This is kind of like the list thing from like I said earlier. If it has index of 0, then we want it to play, you know, number 0 on the list. If we have index of 1, 2, 3, you know, it plays the, like I said, it syncs up the index. Shooting the first screen, it's going to get the element, which is the first one here, which is the health of the screen 1. Go through, is the health of it 0? If it's 0, then teleport it somewhere outside of the map so that people can't see it anymore and play an explosion. If it's not 0, then we just update the health. We'll come down here and update the health and then play whatever animation that we chose. And then even if it is 0 and it does the explosion, update the health. So then we come down here, we're going to update the text that's up there that shows the health. We're going to update that with whatever the new total is of this list. And we want to check to see the total health of the whole robot. If the whole thing is 0, then we want to turn off the follow. We want to stop the turn. We want to play different sound effects. I have it so that it does a whole bunch of explosions, like a whole bunch of different colored explosions afterwards. After 6 seconds, we have it so that it sends everybody to the like you win room. I hope that I explained that well enough. This was a bit of a rambly video, but a lot of people wanted to see the circuits and I wanted to show them, but I didn't want to do a step-by-step tutorial thing. So 9% cheese emoji. I also want to add in a room here so you can come in and see the circuits, or see them in out.